then it's good. So he's taking a priest. I'm
Huh.
surprised. He was really not confident with the priest, and now we see the priest. Deathlord is a pretty
Nice curve, and he does have ways to deal with early game threats with taunts and Shadow Word Pain. Meanwhile, Realz has the ever important cards Spectral Knight and Innervate, which could spell disaster. Depends on how things pan out for the first couple of turns for Forsen.
right now. Reels just got the Violet Teacher, which is pretty important. But basically, well, I like his hand kind of. He has a Haunted Creeper, he has the Violet Teacher, Spectral Knight. He will be able to play that Spectral Knight early if he really wants to. But
Oh, I think he
Forsen,
really wants to.
he definitely really wants to play it early.
There is no reason not to. I think this is one of the most powerful turn threes you could ever imagine against Priest. Although he might want to consider a few other things too. Maybe Druid the Claw and killing off this Northshire Cleric picks of value. It's also a 4-attack creature. How can your opponent respond to it? The best way is a Holy Smite with Pyromancer, but again, how likely is it that he have that combo? And you deny your opponent 2 draw mechanics. Because if you deal with the second Northshire Cleric, Priest often doesn't have a way to draw that easily unless they're able to continue to cycle.
Well, the thing is also, if he uses Innervate in here, basically if you're using Innervate, you want to have a follow-up, so you're either using it as a combo or you're keeping it to have a good curve. And here, he will use Innervate. He is just thinking which card to actually put into the game. If you're going to play Spectral Knight or Druid of the Cloud. The thing is, like, he will play one of the 5-drops here. Then he has Violet Teacher on turn 4, which is pretty good. And again, a 5-drop on turn 5, which is a curve that looks actually pretty good.
Actually, I like Druid the Claw the more I look at it. You're taking out his draw mechanic. Spectral Knight is still going to rain terror. The only thing that I think Realz also has to be hesitant about is if a Power Word Shield comes out, and then he's like drawing a lot of cards with Pyromancer and Circle of Healing, and then all of a sudden he gets a huge card advantage, and then he's dropping these minions which Priest can continue to answer every single time. And this is also another thing where he's a little bit, unfortunately, cock-blocked by this Deathlord, and he's not able to push through, which means that this Deathlord, once again, is going to be playing a pacifist game.
On the other hand, the Deathlord at some point Deathlord will die, but I definitely like Deathlord and Priest because you can just heal it up. It's really not easy to kill the Deathlord, and he will still. It seems like the Druid of the Claw was actually a better play because the
It
one
was. It
free
was.
Northshire Cleric would be just dead, and he wouldn't like Forsen wouldn't be able to get the value of the draw here. But right now, it looks weird for Reals.
That's quite unfortunate, as Realz hasn't had an explosive start, and Deathlord has put a halt. But let's not call it too early. Deathlord has the ability to backfire severely, or do something kind of innocuous, like drop an Argent Squire, and maybe not have that much impact. But this Spectral Knight seems like it's just going to be passing for this turn, until maybe Realz has an opportunity to strike back. And that's going to give the ability for Forsen to maybe do something cool with draws, and he has Shadow Word Pain to answer this via Teacher, and then be able to combo off of this. Draw.
Cards from Northshire Cleric. It sounds great, but on the other hand, you have to spend 2 mana to draw a card. So it's kind of like a life tap for Warlock. But here, Forsen has this Shadow War Pain to be able to deal with the 3/5, which is a pretty good trade. A card for
That's
2 mana,
amazing.
a card for 4 mana. It's a very nice. He actually doesn't draw.
In today's metagame, Shadow Word Pain often doesn't get that good value because of the Death Rattle. So things like Oasis Snapjaw and Violet Teacher are often the best you're going to ever get. Unless your opponent's foolish enough to play my Exna / draw it off of Web Spinner.
He's going for it.
Oh, it's an
my God,
Argent Squire.
The worst possible minion. Even a Haunted Creeper would be better. Oh, so bad.
Well, at least Realz won't top deck it later on. I guess that's one thing he can kind of get rid of. But that is not what he wants, especially with things like Pyromancer and Northshire Cleric out there in the game. And the Pyromancer allows him to also trade into the Spectral Knight. And now he also takes the Haunted Creeper, and Forsen has completely reversed the board. This is not what you were expecting right off the bat if you're the Druid player with Spectral Knight Innervate play. And again, look at what Realz has been able, or what Forsen's been able to do, despite having a very unusual Priest deck.
And he still has Shadow or Death for that Ancient of Lore. Oh my god. And then doubles Engine. This Priest deck definitely doesn't look like an accident to me.
Well, at least it's working out perfectly. Maybe Forsen was just trying to hype it up for us because he sets our expectations lower, but he performs brilliantly with the double Ancient of Lore is good though.
Ancient of Lore. Oh my god, this is good for Realz because even with Shadow or Death, he's still on 26 points of health, so he's still looking good and he will be able to replenish the whole hand. And on the other hand, Forsen doesn't have any more cards. He has a strong board, but only 2 cards in hand.
Well, he can't be taking damage forever. So he's going to play the second Ancient Lore, but if opponent responds once more, then he's going to be taking lots of damage, but he does have quality cards in hand. You know, the Spectral Knight, again, giving Priest a Nightmare. You're usually worried about buffing your 4 attack creatures into the range of Shadow or Death, but Spectral Knight is immune to that.
I guess here you attack into a 5/5 and then use Holy Nova and go face and play the Pyromancer. You go all aggro because you don't have any potential in your hand. Unless you actually go all in. That's a very nice play as well.
Yeah, the Holy Nova and Shadow Madness does represent 5 damage next turn, at least the max 5 damage. So if your opponent doesn't armor up, say he uses like full combo here to clear, then you have a way to kind of kill if your opponent has any kind of small minion remaining. So he's keeping his options flexible in case he needs to lethal with the cards in hand.
Well, here Realz can actually use the combo if he wants to, but do you want to use it? You can attack into a 3/5.
You can also just build the board with something like a Defender of Argus play. But then if your opponent has something like Black Knight in his Priest deck, then you just set up Spectral Knight to die right there. And Spectral Knight usually is one of the hardest cards to remove in the mid game, especially for Priest. So he doesn't feel that great using it.
I guess he's going for Defender of Argus play.
Okay.
This is also okay. Even if because you might be afraid of clearing the board. He wouldn't be able to clear the board anyway. But if he would try to clear the board, he will have to leave the 4/5, and leaving a 4/5 and no taunt on your side would just open you to Holy Fire, just finishing the game. So that's why he went for the taunts play in here.
You realize that if that Pyromancer wasn't Wrath, that was actually lethal because of the Holy Nova able to push through. As a result, Forsen is a little bit short right now, but he's still going to put his opponent under pressure, and if he draws into something like Holy Fire, this game is still over. Realz does have ways to clear, but once again, the situation's starting to get a little dire. You don't often see Druid of the Claw be played in top mode with a token Druid, especially at this stage of the game.
I guess he has to use the combo to clear. And he can do it. You just clear with the combo and hope for the best. Next turn you will be able to play a Taunt and a 4/5, 4/6. You will be at the mercy of any damage, like Holy Fire basically. But your opponent has only 1 card. What do you expect your opponent has?
I mean, he could have something like Power Word Shield and he simply ran out of mana.
You can also play kind of like play the Taunt and a Spectral Knight and hope that your opponent won't be able to clear it, but it's so risky. Like there's even a Holy, how do you call this? The small spell for 1 deal 2 damage?
Holy Smite.
Holy Smite, yeah, that Holy Smite would even kill you. So it was mostly about reducing the number of outs that your opponent can get to kill you.
Sure. It makes sense too. If your opponent has something like Silence or Mass Dispel, which is in Forsen's deck, that would be the end of the game. Realz forced to use the combo and feeling like he has to set up a wall of defense. Maybe he can pull back, but it depends on what Forsen's top decking. Mass Dispel would end the game. That's a phrase I didn't expect to be saying a month ago.
That would be so sick if Mass Dispel actually comes in here.
Oh, it's a Holy Fire.
That's it.
But of course, Forsen is not going to reveal it immediately. He's going to heal his opponent, pretend like that wasn't according to game plan, and then end the game anyways. Realz knows the game's over.
Realz knows Forsen. they are friends, and he knows that Forsen is BMing in the end. It's all in good fun. Even if Realz can be a bit salty, he's still Forsen's teammate. And this series is not ended yet. We are playing a best of 7, so you need to win 4 games to actually win the series.